Hello everyone. In classification video series, we have covered first video for classification theoretical part, second video for logistic regression, and third video for holdout performance measure method. Fourth video we have used cross validation, and fifth video we have used classification report. There we have covered precision recall, accuracy, and most important confusion matrix. And now we'll be covering the last part in performance measure, which is ROC curve. Let's go to ROC curve now. ROC curve. The receiver operating characteristics ROC curve is another common tool used with binary classifier. It is used only with binary classifier. What is binary classifier? It classifies either yes or no, like it is apple or it is not an apple. Okay, 0 or 1 you can say. From binary you can understand it is 0 or 1. It is very similar to the precision and recall curve, but instead of plotting precision versus recall, ROC curve plots the true positive rate, TPR. TPR is also recall, means you predicted correctly divide by actually yes. Okay, against so we plot the graph against true positive rate against false positive rate. At the false positive rate, FPR is the ratio of negative instance that are incorrectly classified as a positive. It is equal to 1 minus true negative rate. And what is true negative rate? Which is the ratio of negative instances that are correctly classified as a negative. The TNR, true negative ratio, is called specificity. Hence, the ROC curve plots between sensitivity, which is our recall, versus 1 minus specificity. To plot the ROC curve, you first need to compute TPR and FPR from various threshold method using ROC curve function. So this is a graph, and this is algorithm we have used, and you can say this is a true positive rate and false positive rate. As the false positive rate increases, our true positive rate is also increasing, right? And in any classification we want true positive rate to be high, false positive rate should be less. On the way to compare classification is to measure the area under the curve AUC, that is area under the curve. A perfect classifier will have ROC-AUC curve equal to 1, whereas a purely random classifier will have ROC-AUC equal to 0.5. Scikit-learn provides the functions to compute the ROC-AUC. Since ROC-AUC curve is so like the precision and recall curve, you may wonder how to decide which one to use. As a rule of thumb, you should prefer precision and recall curve whenever the positive class is rare, or when you care more about the false positive than the false negative and the ROC curve otherwise. So when you focus on the false positive more, like uh, YouTube videos, like for which is for kids, so that time you want your false positive to be less, right? You want to focus on false positive, means if you predicted yes this video is good for kids, and if it is not, then it is false positive. You predicted as yes, but it is false, it is not for kids. So that time you will want to reduce the false positive. So if you most care about the false positive, that time you should use precision and recall curve. Otherwise we can use ROC curve. Okay, let's jump to the coding part. I'm using Jupyter IDE, and I'm using Iris dataset where we have 150 rows and we have one uh, column or target. In the target we have three classes: Iris versicolor, Iris setosa, Iris virginica, and we have four features: sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. So you can see sepal and petal. Okay, I'm using it as a binary classifier, so I have taken virginica, Iris virginica, as our target. So let's see the code. So in ROC ASU curve, so I have imported ROC curve to calculate FPR and TPR from sklearn dot matrix. I have imported train test split from sklearn dot model dot selection. In X, I have saved iris data, and in Y, I have saved data for Virginica. So it will be 0 or 1. 1 for Virginica, and for rest, it will be 0. So we can verify as well. Now I will split the data. I will use train test split as we have done in previous videos. I'm using random state 42, so it will give same data each and every time. Test size is equal to 0.2. I'm using 20% for test data and 80% for train data. Let's check the save. We can set 120, 30. Now we can check the Y test. Now you can say it has been shuffled, right? Yeah, before it was like 0 0 and later 1. Now I will calculate Y predict. For that we'll use cross val predict, which we have already imported. And log reg is object where we have called logistic regression X test. So I'll be passing X test and Y test. CV is equal to 5. Cross val predict will divide these data set into 5 equal size data fold in the same way like in cross validation score. It divide the data into 5 folds, like CV is equal to 5, then it will divide into 5. It will train using those 5, and it will test using those 5. So in each fold we will have train data and test data. Okay, so later we will get 5 values as we have CV is equal to 5, and it will calculate the mean or average of all 5, and it will predict the value. It will give better result because it is dividing the data into small part, and it is using training and testing, and later it is using the average of all. So let's predict the value, and now I'll calculate FPR and TPR threshold for using ROC curve function. I have given Y test and Y predict. I'll plot the graph against FPR and TPR because ROC is what TPR versus FPR, right? And now I'm plotting it a dotted line between 0 1 0 1. I have given the labels. Let's print the diagram. So if you can see, when our false positive rate is low here, right, our TPR is getting increased, and certain point false positive rate increasing, and TPR is also increasing but slightly. So this should be our threshold value, and we should use our algorithm at this point, right? If we'll go further, our false positive rate will be higher. So hope it is clear. We have seen the example of precision recall, where we need higher precision and where we need higher recall. Even in ROCAC curve, we are checking the when we need higher TPR, when FPR. So we need a balance of higher TPR. We need higher TPR and lower FPR. So we have to find a way to get the higher TPR and low FPR. So we plot this graph and we try to find the values. So for getting those values, we need to change our threshold value. So as you can see in the graph, we have already seen Y predicted value and petal length value. So our threshold is at 0.5, right? After this point, it is strongly positive that yeah, these are Virginica flower, and above below this, it is our model is confident that yeah, this is not Virginica, and it has marked it as a negative. It's not Virginica. So if we'll change the threshold, if we'll increase the threshold near this, so it will be more confident, right? Means it will predict correctly all the ones, all the Virginica it will predict. So there will be less false positive, right? Because you have increased the threshold value near 1. So whenever it will predict as a 1, definitely it will be 1, right? Yeah, and the same way if it will decrease the value and near this, if you are near 0, when you say this is not Iris Virginica, you are confident, right? And that time your false negative will be decreased. So this is the way you will tweak between precision and recall, right? Precision is dependent on false positive, and recall is dependent on false negative. So by changing this threshold value, you will get your desired output. So hope you like the video. Thanks everyone for staying with me. I hope the concepts are clear, and let's meet it again. Till then, watch my videos and like and subscribe my video so that I can put more and more effort to get more and more videos for you guys. Thank you.